When does higher consciousness emerge? When does one become conscious of any one thing? And we would ask, when do ones become unconscious? For so often among travels of life, ones are very aware, enlightened perhaps, in tune, tapped in, truly creating a journey of spiritual growth, let us say it that way. And removing the word spiritual, just becoming aware of growth to create a space beyond what one is experiencing. Higher consciousness is achieved and at times can be let go. Why is that? Because consciousness, the level of consciousness, what one brings forth in consciousness is truly a choice. So often ones head out on their, we want to say spiritual journey, but their journey of growth in consciousness. And moving along and truly finding the space to be elevated, finding the deepest sense of gratitude, one with the earth, one with all, finding the space to truly nourish and appreciate Mother Earth, finding the space to explore. We want to say wisdom, knowledge, teachings, to bring forth a greater awareness of oneself. And there are times when one sets out on this journey that all things feel so lined up, so lit up. An exploration of true wisdom and mastery. And something comes along and truly interrupts the expansion, the extension of, the elevation of. And then one's sort of stumble, if you will, and they go back to perhaps reading more books, they go back to listening to speakers, if you will. They go back to finding that place that brought them the ease and comfort and peace when they first explored. So picking themselves up, dusting themselves off, and on they go again. And it won't take long at times where one is blindsided by something, or just setbacks and hurdles, frustrations, always feeling that they are hitting a brick wall, feeling they are getting nowhere, feeling almost out of place by the ones that were always part of their world, feeling that now they do not connect. So often when ones are searching or bringing forth their spiritual journey, higher consciousness, most see it as a spiritual journey, the wording for, ones feel that they do not connect. And isn't that fascinating? Because one is bringing forth the knowing, the wisdom that all is one. And then relationships start to get muddled. They start to get stressed. Relationships start to take another pathway, one that has walked and traveled many years. The one wanting to seek, we don't want to say the higher pathway, not the correct wording, but a pathway that allows one to search their higher self, if you will. Feels like it takes away from the life, the travel that they were once experiencing before one has decided to move forth in the expansion of consciousness. So many times when one sets out on this journey, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. And ones will say, if you set out on this journey, be prepared to lose people in your life. Be prepared for a lot of challenges that challenge you. Be prepared to have your whole world shake up. Because when ones seek the travel of higher consciousness, the world is shaken up. And so often, many times, one sets out on the journey to find the deepest wisdom within oneself, and many life events take place. Perhaps mild, perhaps taking one to their knees in anguish and despair. Perhaps one will discover much loss. It feels like there is much loss. And it does tend to feel like one is being challenged to see how far they have traveled in higher consciousness. So often, ones feel so defeated, and even a bigger word, they feel betrayed. I took this road, and look how my life, it just crumbled around me. I took the higher path. I took the spiritual awakening path, and all I was awakened to was a big mess. All I was awakened to was more hurt, more loss, more upset, more chaos. What is this BS? And some get so discouraged and so disheartened that they just remove the idea of traveling to discover their greatest sense of inner essence and higher consciousness, because it brought much pain. But here is what we would like to share. When ones are exploring higher consciousness, their spiritual journey, call it what you will, they have embarked on a journey of personal advancement, personal development, personal awakening, personal expansion. And they must do it on their own. Everyone does it on their own. It's not like going to a gym class. Oh, let's sign up for this class and we'll work out together. No. You can sign up for a teaching, a spiritual teaching with a friend, but truly, it is up to you what ones do with the information that is shared. One cannot make another find their pathway to higher consciousness. It is a choice that comes from within, any more than one can make you forgive. So one has decided to embark on this grand journey of awakening and feeling so enlightened, and then the crumbling off, let us just say. It truly isn't the happenings of one finding their spiritual journey, their higher consciousness. What happens is not to be challenged. It's not to prove to anyone, some think it's the divine, that they're being challenged by the universe. They're being challenged by outside forces to see how far advanced they are, or to test them in their spiritual pathway. So many obtain this belief when they're walking their enlightened pathway, let us say it like that, and something comes along that truly just wipes out the road, sort of like a landslide, just taking the whole road that was before them away, and now they're standing, wondering what happened when all was going so well on this enlightened journey. It is not a test. It is not something coming forth to see if you passed like the A, B, C, D's in life. It's not about someone getting an F in their spiritual journey, a big failure. And it's not about someone getting an A. It does not work like that. And that's what we want to share in this segment. Because so many feel challenged by something outside themselves. They feel challenged in the process of, and it can become frustrating for some. It does become frustrating for some. And they feel truly betrayed in the journey of the spiritual awakening because they didn't see what was coming before them. And we have shared that higher consciousness does not prevent adversity. Higher consciousness does not prevent experiences to take place that would cause sadness or loss or despair or anguish. Higher consciousness allows a space for the reaction, allows a space of greater expansion on how you wish to feel about what was delivered or what was found, what was experienced in the perception of. Higher consciousness does not light up a pathway to the point that it is only joy. How could that be? But one set out feeling that if I become advanced, then almost it's like a suit of shining armor, protected by all things. And then something comes along and they don't feel protected at all, didn't see it coming, name it what you will. And then they feel absolutely betrayed with the pathway. They feel challenged. They feel perhaps they're not advanced enough, that they didn't get the A, B, or C, and this is all in conditioning. They didn't pass the little test. Higher consciousness allows a space for one to move forward in the contrast of life. The contrast of life. In the knowing of the contrast of life. And then finding a space to choose how one will react to life itself. It is not a condemning from the gods, if you will, from source, from the universe, name it what you will. So many feel that they are being condemned by a great power, and it is so far from true. For if your greatest power, if you will, name it what you will, is only divine eternal light, think about it. If the universe is only holding the vibration of love, then why would one feel the universe would be unloving? Ponder that. And most will say, well, look what showed up on my lap. Look what showed up right here, right now. Look what took me to my knees. I have lost everything in this spiritual journey, trying to connect with something greater that would protect me. Something that shows me that it is about love. This isn't loving. What I just received, there is no love in this. If there was love, I would feel love. I would have been protected from this happening. This wouldn't have happened. And so many feel betrayed. The love in creation is love that is so boundless, so expansive, so beyond what the human mind could even conceive. And so often it is, we want to say, blamed for the adversity upon Mother Earth. If all things are a vibration, and you are setting forth on your journey with the greatest sense of love, the greatest sense of compassion, the greatest sense of forgiveness, the greatest sense, and something comes along that knocks you over, ones tend to not apply the basics, if you will, basics, compassion, love, kindness, forgiveness, to oneself and to the universe. They don't find the love, the compassion that is found in the adversity. They find the condemning and the harsh judgment. They find anger. They find resentment. They find feeling less than. They find the space of not feeling connected. Why is that? Why do ones start condemning the universe for an event or situation, circumstance that has taken place in one's life? Isn't that fascinating? One's on the pathway to find higher consciousness, finds a place to condemn consciousness itself. Ones will ask, why do bad things happen to good people? And here is the key with higher consciousness. It is the perception of what is taking place. And there are times where the adversity creates a space for the grandest sense of compassion, love, kindness, and forgiveness ever to expand. Most do not search for higher consciousness when days feel full and of ease and playful and beyond grand. Most search for their greatest self when ones are challenged. And it's not put in place to see how one will react in advancement. It's not grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. It's not like that. But so many feel they have to go through the tests of life to master their mastery of life. The key to understand is, at every moment in time, whether it is blissful, expansive, peaceful, euphoric sense of joy, everything in love, it is the most divine moment to bring forth higher consciousness. And when all things feel lost and burdened, painful, hurtful, when all things feel so off, one doesn't know where to stand, it is the greatest, grandest opportunity to bring forth divine consciousness. So in the contrast of life, understand that every moment, no matter how you are feeling about any one thing, is the grandest opportunity to find your deepest wisdom, your inner essence held within. Every moment in time is your opportunity to choose. And what are you choosing? What are you choosing in adversity? What are you choosing when you do feel betrayed? What are you choosing? And what are you choosing when you feel on top of the world? what are you choosing then? For there are many times that ones can feel that life is just lighting up before them. All things in the right place, in the right order, in the right time. All things coming together with such grand expansion of dreams, wishes, and desires. And that one is so wrapped up in their perfect world. They have forgotten or placed down or misplaced, if you will, their sense of love, compassion, kindness, and forgiveness. How often does someone appear to have everything society feels that would make one happy, and they treat another with such unkindness? Therefore, they do not have the world in the palm of their hands. They have external experiences, but they do not have higher consciousness. Higher consciousness is the freedom of life itself. Think of the vastness of the sky just for a moment. Think of the endless, boundless sky. No beginning, no end. No matter where you look, there is not a line that there's not a start and a finish. It is always complete within itself, and the expansion of only light. For where does it go? The human creation, human bodies, physical bodies, when they are standing on the ground looking up, they do not have the knowing of where it goes because one's feet are on the ground. When you think of the vastness of the sky, think higher consciousness. Think the expansion of. When you have the deepest understanding that the contrast of life will always be with no punishment, to drop the belief that one was not deserving of anything good is most helpful. Because so many feel that they are not deserving of anything good or grand or miraculous. They convince themselves that they're not worthy of, or it just will not happen to them, because somewhere in their psyche, if you will, they feel that it would never be granted. And who is the grantor? So often ones condemn the universe. And they are condemning the universe, or name it what you will, because they have found condemnation for themselves. So when you are embarking on your grandest journey to discover your divine eternal light, understand that it is not a test. Understand that the only advancement is within you. No one will come along and place a big red ribbon, first place. It doesn't work like that. That is conditioning. That is conditioning. That is competition. Someone has to have second place for one to have first place. Someone has to have third place for one to have second. Higher consciousness is not graded. And it's certainly not graded by divine or the universe or God, name it what you will. And we are not here to change a belief. But would it make sense that the grand universe gives everyone a passing grade or not? The inner essence of all that you are is never compared to another. That is powerful to understand. It is most powerful to understand. Your personal journey is your personal journey. It is yours. It is your choice and your choice alone. Free will is yours at every moment, every second. Choice is yours every moment. And what we are sharing is, in the contrast of life, every moment, you have a choice to choose higher consciousness in whatever you are experiencing. Isn't that grand to know? So many start out on this journey and they start to feel like they are failures. They feel worse than before they even started. I can't get this right. I still feel miserable. Perhaps. But the journey is a journey. It is the travel. It isn't a magic wand. Wouldn't it be nice if it was? Wouldn't it be nice that the magic wand could just be waved and everyone on the planet has higher consciousness? But everyone on the planet has free will. So why would the heavens be condemned when life does not appear to be perfect? When every soul has free will in their creation. You are never punished, period. And ones may feel that they are deserving of punishment. Ones may feel that they have let divine down. So often ones feel that they are not deserving of anything good because of something that they have experienced. Because they have done something, said something, created something, fill it in, hundreds of thousands of reasons why one would not feel deserving. Everyone has the choice to feel deserving of all things good. For only all things good are being offered. The lens in which you are experiencing life through is what you see. The lens that you are looking at life with is what you will see and experience. And this is what trips ones up, because they'll say, no, I was looking at the world through the eyes of Source. I was, and then this came along. So then why would you discontinue looking at the world through the eyes of Source if adversity came along? Would be the question we would ask you to ponder. You are higher consciousness. It is a choice to bring it forth. We will wrap up this segment. We do believe that many would find this helpful. There is great love for you.